Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and man, I really appreciate you guys watching the videos and taking some time out of your day to do so. And guys, today we're going to give you guys some good information that really every angler should know, and that's what to do if you gut hook a fish. If you hook a fish really deep and you can't get the hook out, I think there's a lot of misconceptions around this, so I'm going to really address that and give you guys some good tips and advice that will help save those fish out there. So before we get started, guys, I just want to invite everybody, anyone interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, you can do so by going to my Facebook page, Randy Block, a professional angler, and just shoot me a private message. I can give you all the details for that, so much appreciated. Okay, guys, gut hooking or hooking a fish deep. I mean, if you fish very long, you've done it. It's like, this is something that occurs in fishing most of the time with a single hook lure that you're fishing slow. So say, for example, if you're fishing a Texas rig worm or something like a Ned rig or shaky head or something that's got a single hook in there, a lot of times those fish will swallow that hook. Now, there's a lot of different reasons for that. Sometimes, you know, maybe you waited a little bit too long to set the hook, which sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just the aggressiveness of the fish. Carolina rig is very common with this. If you guys are fishing like a Carolina rig lizard or worm with that worm hook in it, a lot of times they swallow it. It's just something that's going to happen. It's really unavoidable. It's not like it's a fault of the anglers. It just happens from time to time. So there's a lot of information circulating out there around what you should do if you gut hook a fish. And the first thing I want to tell everybody, guys, is I do not recommend trying to get the hook out at all. Now, there's a lot of different, there's videos out there about people showing you how to get hooks out and this and that. Guys, don't do it. The thing you want to do is cut your line and leave the hook in there, and let me explain why. Now, this is based upon, I've read several studies on this where conservation departments have done experiments with it, and they have found that if you, on a sample group, say for example, if you got 10 fish that are gut hooked, if you try to get the hook out, like if you try to get the hook out with some type of a method or technique or pliers or something like that, in the sample studies, approximately 25% of those fish where anglers tried to get the hooks out, you know, by themselves, about 25% of those fish died afterwards. In the sample group where people left the hooks in there and didn't do anything to them, just cut the line, none of the fish died in it. Now, what happens is the fish they sort of have a natural healing process, and the term is called, I think it's called encapsulation. To what happens is the body chemicals or whatever in the fish, they actually calcify. They have some type of I don't understand the biology behind it, but there's some type of a calcification that occurs on the hook from the fish's chemicals within their body that will eventually either expel that hook or dissolve the hook based upon the thickness of it. But ultimately, it is the best way to do it. Now, one of the things that I would suggest is a lot of times, say for example, if you gut hook a fish deep on a plastic worm, do your best to at least try to get the plastic worm off the hook where it's just the hook there. Now, you can do this. Don't pull on it. Don't like pull on the worm, because you're going to put extra pressure on that fish's throat, but try to maybe reach down there with a pair of pliers and clip that worm off of there. Try to get any mass off of it. And there's several different variations what happens here, because sometimes when you gut hook a fish, it bleeds, and sometimes it doesn't. One of the things you can do if the fish is bleeding is take something like some type of a highly carbonated soda, like a Mountain Dew, and pour some Mountain Dew in the fish's mouth. And a lot of times that will stop the bleeding. Excuse me, guys. That's a pretty common technique with that. But the main thing, guys, is just don't put any pressure on it or don't pull it. Try to get it out. Try to cut that line and get that fish back in the water as soon as possible. Try to stay away from the gills. A lot of the mortality and fish being killed from the error of the angler has to do with damaging the gills. So I know a lot of those videos talk about putting pliers up through the gills and twisting the hook around. Don't mess with that. It's proven through these studies that that is not as effective as just cutting the line, leaving the hook in there, and letting the fish, you know, dissolve it naturally, type of a thing. So anyway, it's just a little bit of information I think everybody needs to know on that. I don't think most anglers that practice catch and release they hate it when that happens. They don't want to see that. And if you try that, it's probably a good way to save as many of those fish as you possibly can. So hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later. See you.